Hi, this is Bob Sorrentino from Italian Roots and Genealogy, and I have a great guest today from Naples, Cristina Rizzo, and she runs the Napoli home shortlets. So, welcome, Cristina. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Robert.
And I hope I didn't mess up Napoli too bad.
Yes.
So, I certainly want to talk a little about your, the place that you let and also about Naples. But before we do that, is your family from Naples?
My mother is from Naples. And she moved to Milan when she was very young because she had a degree in pharmacy. And at that time, there were very few women graduates in Italy. So she immediately found a job and moved to Milan to work in an hospital. My father was a lawyer. I am a lawyer too. She was born in Ercolano. Maybe you know.
Yeah.
Ercolano. Yes, it's a famous place. But I don't have much information about my roots, so I don't know. I can tell you where my grandmother was born. She was born in Puglia, is a region in the south of Italy. But I don't know much really, so I don't know what can I tell you about them.
No, that's fine. And two interesting things.
Oh.
Ercolano is right near Torre del Greco, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
and so when we were there, one of the special things that happened that I did not know that my grandmother's cousins, uh, uh, actually not it's my father's cousins, my grandmother's nieces live in Torre del Greco. They're
Really?
both in their 90s. I never knew they existed, and we got to meet them.
Ah, oh, yeah. That's incredible.
It was so special, so special. I can't tell you. The other thing is my mom, my dad's family's from Naples. My mom is from Puglia, from
Oh.
Torito, near Bari.
My grandmother from Casarano in the south of the Puglia. It's
Okay.
a little place in the south of Puglia. Yeah.
And now I have cousins from the same family, my grandmother's father's family. They're in Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
And I think and I never knew about any of these people until just a couple of years ago. And my cousin Nicola, who brought us to the flat where uh, my grandmother's nieces lived, he contacted me about 2 months before our trip.
Ah,
So it
it's
was.
very interesting. It's interesting. But
Nothing.
now I tell you, I don't know if you know that the surname of my husband is Sorrentino.
Really?
Really?
So where's he from?
Naples, but the Spanish he is from Spanish district. Have you seen this district?
I think I'm sure we drove through it. Now, my father's family, well, actually, both families lived on Via Carbonara or just near Via Carbonara.
Yeah.
My father's family, the Sorrentinos, were from Vico Longo.
Vico Lungo Gelso.
Yeah, so not
Really?
not far away. No.
Not far away. No, no.
No, no. And the first time we went to Italy, 25 years ago, we just passed through Naples. We took the
Uh-huh.
train from Rome and picked up a car to drive to Sorrento. I had no idea that the family lives walking distance from the station.
Oh, and when do you discover this?
Uh,
When
I
you
I found out I found out like it's probably 4 or 5 years ago where I found out where the families actually lived. Now the Caracciolo, they lived um, right across from the hotel,
yes, yeah.
and they all seem to live. There's a block of houses there or apartment. They all seem to live number 23, number 25, number 30. So my
Uh-huh.
great grandmother was born at one address and passed away at another address, just doors away from there.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
So I don't know much, but I think the Caracciolo family, they probably owned this big building and everybody lived there.
Ah, Caracciolo family is a very important family in Naples. Do you know it?
Yes, no, I know from all my research. But
Uh,
growing up, we never knew. My grandmother spoke mostly Italian. I was only 10 when she passed away. So I didn't have a lot of interaction with her. And I only learned about that family when I
uh-huh.
found my great grandfather Piomalo married Caracciolo. And when I
Ah,
asked my cousin, she said, "Sure, of course, that's Nanny's mother." And I said, "Did you know that they were from this famous family that goes back 1,000 years?" And she said, "Well, she used to tell us that her cousin was the princess, but we thought she was a
yeah.
crazy old lady. But her cousin was the princess."
You have very noble roots.
Yeah, it is. It's been quite an amazing journey. So that's why I had to go to Naples and see that. And um, I just felt so much at home at Naples. And the one thing I liked about your place, we were right in the heart of the historic district, and everything was very walkable. And when we first got there, I had no idea where I was, and once we learned some of the streets, we were right by the Domo. We were right by the the archives and everything, and walking distance of restaurants. So, how did you find this place and pick that location to have an apartment?
I decided to buy an apartment in the historic center because I think this district is very very interesting. There are many reasons why I decided to buy there my apartment. First of all, as you know, Naples has the European largest historic center, which is listed by UNESCO. There are many historical buildings. We have more than 400 churches, and
Wow.
I don't know if you went to the cathedral.
We did, yes, yes, we did.
Uh, uh, um, in the cathedral every year on September 19, the miracle of San Gennaro, the city's patron, is celebrated. In this day, people flock to witness the blood of the saint to turn solid into liquid. And if the blood doesn't melt, something bad may happen in the city. Did you know it?
Yes, we heard that story while we were there. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's very important for us. Every year we ask if San Gennaro does the miracle. Every year.
and we got a personal tour of the cathedral
Ah,
From Don Agostino Caracciolo.
yeah, fantastic.
So a distant cousin of my great grandmother's, and he gave us the story and showed us the other interesting thing in the cathedral is there's a little I guess a little chapel on the side from my third great grandmother, Duchess Beatrice Capici Piccicelli.
Really?
And yeah, uh, and Letizia found that by accident, she said. She was just walking
Uh-huh.
through and she looked and she saw the name. And it's a small little place. I think there were like three or four chapels maybe next to each other. But there's
Yeah.
the Capici Piccicelli stemma in the
Uh-huh.
floor, and then a plaque on the wall
Oh,
explaining that. And they they
I
weren't
didn't know
sure.
it.
Yeah, if the only thing I could tell you where to find it is there was a little section where a man was selling books and rosary beads and things, and you were supposed to pay to go into this little area. And Letizia said, "That's his family. He goes in for free."
Absolutely fantastic.
So the building
You
that
you
yeah, go ahead.
you are a very important person.
Oh boy, they treated us very, very special. My wife says you're loving this, aren't you? And I said, of course I am. um, so now the building where your flat is, it was quite amazing because when you walk in, it's very, very old, obviously, and then you go in and it's this very modern apartment. How old is the
Yeah.
building that you're in?
We'll be right back.
Experience Italy like never before, traveling with a scheduled group or create your own bespoke tour with friends with PhilItaly.com. Pack your bags and follow Phil. That's www.philitaly.co.
I think it's 1700, I think, but I'm not sure. I tried to to take an information about it, but it's very difficult. It was very difficult. I don't know why. But nobody knows something about it.
And
I
so
don't know.
and so so obviously there's other flats in there. So you bought the one flat. Now, did you restore it yourself or was it already restored when you bought it?
Excuse me, I didn't understand.
Was it already made modern when you bought it, or did you modernize? Did you make the inside of the apartment new?
No, it's modern, of course, inside, because the building was refurbished 8 years ago. So, of course, the owner that sold me the apartment changed everything. Changed everything because, of course, it was impossible to stay inside before the refurbish of the building. It was very ancient. So, from the balcony, you can see one of the most important streets in Naples.
Hmm. Yeah.
I see in this photo.
And that's what was that was so neat about it. I mean, we loved going into the courtyard, and then you're going up these steps that people walked on 300 years ago. And it's so different for us coming from America to be in a place like that where you have these, you know, ancient places. And for me, you know, knowing that my grandparents walked these streets, it's it's a unique experience. It's very, very strange.
Yes, it's a unique experience. All the historic center is a unique experience, I think, because as you see, Naples, it's quite different from the other cities in Italy. And it's different because people in the historic center still live in the historic center. In the other city, for example, the historic centers are emptied for the use of the tourism. In Naples, real people live in the historic center. So you can see, for example, people that talk to each other from the balcony,
Mm,
or if you ask something in the street, if you ask someone for information in the street, other people stop and go in your discussion, participate to the discussion. It's strange, but Neapolitan people are very have a great capacity to communicate, and this is, I think, the difference from the other city. When the guests come to my apartment, they say me that Napolitan are very welcoming, has have a good capacity to communicate, and this capacity to communicate has its roots in the ancient time. For example, the emperor Nerone. Do you know Nerone? It's a Roman emperor.
yeah, I know the Romans used to come there. Yeah.
Yes. Nerone was a lover of the theater, and he performed in Naples because he said that Naples, the public in Naples was the best supporter, was the best to which perform, in front of which perform. And this is, I think, this is the most important difference from the other city. And this is the reason for people, tourists, come to Naples. Of course, Naples has become one of the favorite destination for all tourists, but thanks to its artistic heritage. But not only, because they want to see our real life, and our real life is quite different from the other city in Italy, as you've seen. I think it's strange.
Well, yeah, no, if you compare it to Rome, it's
Completely
completely
different.
different. Yes,
Yes, I know.
completely different, completely different. Especially when you walk down some of the streets and the alleyways, and that these streets were there for 1,000 years or 1,200, however old they were. It's quite amazing. One of the things that we did learn when we were going down some of the streets was, uh, don't try and get out of the way of the scooters. They'll they'll go around you. If you move, that's not the way to do it.
Yes, yes, I know. I know. But one of the reason why I buy this apartment was San Gregorio Armeno, because San Gregorio Armeno, as you know, is the street of crabs. So cribs, not crabs, cribs. And here there are many shops that sells little nativity figurines
Mhm.
of the nativity scenes. Did you have enough time to visit it? I don't know.
Yeah, we did go up and down the street, and we did one of the things that we really like. I forget what you call them, but they had the um, like the whether it was a stable or a cave, all
Yes,
decorated with the lights and everything. Those were
yes, yes,
amazing, and you could buy
yeah.
them, or you could buy the pieces and
Yes,
build it
only one
yourself.
piece. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah. The tradition of terracotta figurines dates back to the Roman Empire,
Wow.
where people used to buy terracotta figurines in memory of their dead. Now you can also find those figurines inspired by current event. A few years ago, the craftsmen did the figurines of famous people like Maradona, for example, Queen Elizabeth, or famous singer. And it was so successful that it started a new tradition. So you can find nativity scene, little figurine of the nativity scene, and you can find also Maradona or other famous personality. And I think this district is a mix of culture. And for this reason, I like very much the historic center because it is a touristic, and at the same time, people still alive and keeping their identity.
Mhm.
Naples have a strong identity. So it's both a touristic and anthropological experience. Visiting Napoli is an experience. This
No,
is
that's for sure. And we didn't take the metro. We walked a lot. Of course, we had Gianfranco, who was just he was just wonderful. He was just a super driver. Uh, who
yeah.
took us around to places, and if he asked us if we had been someplace and we said no, he said, "Okay, I'll take you there now." You were just like this. He was just really really so nice. And and again, everything else is very close to people. Listen, Pompeii is close, and we I had to go because Sorrentino. There's the winery up on Vesuvius,
Uh-huh.
Sorrentino, and it was just so nice up there. It was so
Yeah.
beautiful up there, and they did a wine, uh, 5 wines to taste, and we had lunch
Uh-huh.
up there on the side of Vesuvius, and just
Yes.
everything
And
was incredible.
did you go to Pompeii?
We went to Pompeii. It was very, very hot.
Yes,
It
I
was
know.
very hot that day. We had gone 25 years ago, and when we were there 25 years ago, there was nobody there. It was empty. There were a lot of people there. It was very, very packed. Um,
Yeah.
and but the kids wanted to go. I wanted to stay in Naples. The kids wanted to go to Pompeii. So I lost. I was a 3 against 1 vote. So we went to Pompeii.
But the other reason why I bought the apartment is that from the apartment in 50 minutes you can reach the port where you can take the boat to the highlands, either for a ferry. but maybe you hadn't enough time to go to the islands, to Capri, to Ischia, to Procida.
No,
You
we
didn't
didn't.
go.
We had gone to Capri 25 years ago. The first time we were there, we went
Uh-huh.
to Capri from Sorrento. We took the
Yeah,
ferry from Sorrento.
yeah.
Uh, I wanted to go to Ischia, but we didn't have the time because we had we set up the things to go to the family sites. So
Yes,
next
yes.
time, next time
Next time.
uh, and we were back maybe one day, uh, and we were walking down the street here, and we live in a
Yeah.
small place by the beach. And my wife said, "I can't believe we're here. I can't believe we're not there anymore." So yeah, we hope to come back next year, and
Ah,
we'll see if we get to Naples. I want to try to go to where my mom's family is from. I want to try to get to Puglia because we never got there yet, and their town is very very
Poi
small.
Puglia
Yeah.
is fantastic, and there's a very nice sea. I suggest you to go on June,
Yeah.
not on August. On June
Yeah.
is better. Yes, because it's
All
very,
all
very
of it,
full.
all of Italy is fantastic.
On June, on June.
We loved every place we went. We went to Sheila in Calabria, which was a beautiful place. What a beautiful
Yeah.
place. And then after we left Naples, we went to Sicily too because my wife's mother's
Ah,
family is from Sicily. So
oh, really?
yeah, yeah. Her mother's father was from Shaka.
Ah, it's
Um,
fantastic, Sicily.
ah,
More than
it's so
Puglia,
beautiful.
more than Puglia. Sicily is Magna Grecia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
yes,
so
yes.
so before we go, I want to make sure that people know how to find you. So if they want to book your apartment or your flat, we say apartment, of course, the English say flat, right? How would they go about finding you? And do you have a website and everything to go to?
Yes, I have a website, Spaccanapoli Home. Then if you want, I can send you the link of the apartment, and you can find on booking.com or on my way, VRBO. And on Sodes. Yeah, Sodes, it's a website, very, very interesting because they control the apartment. They come to the apartment, and if the apartment is good, they put the apartment
Oh, right.
on their website.
Oh,
The,
good, good. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah, send me those links and I'll put them all in the blog. Sure. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
So
and I mean
you,
and for people listening, there was everything that you needed. There was a kitchen, there was a washing machine, there was an iron, there was everything that you could think of that you would need. Uh, and it was funny
yes.
because my wife said, "Where are you going to dry the clothes?" And I said, "On the balcony, like the Neapolitans do."
Yes, but in our building it is impossible.
Oh, I figured it out. I won't. I
Naples
won't. I won't give
is
away
a
the
big
secret.
laundry. Naples is a big laundry, but in our building it's impossible to do it.
In New York, you don't see it anymore. In New York, in the 20s and 30s, even probably into the 60s, they would have the apartment buildings would have the clotheslines going across from one
uh,
building to
uh,
the other building or across a courtyard, and you would hang your
in New
clothes
York,
in New
in New
York.
York,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can't believe it. In New
Oh,
York.
yeah, yeah. Not anymore, but
Ah,
you know, 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago,
Ah,
that's the way they
okay.
did it.
Ah,
And when I was doing my research for my family, my cousin didn't believe me. My cousin who grew up with my grandmother didn't believe that my grandmother had a relative in New York City. And I said, yes, her aunt lived there. And he said, no, I
mm.
don't think so. And I said, no, I know for a fact because I know the name. And I said, this is where they lived. And they both families lived in this building in Manhattan. And he said, give me the address again. And I told him the address. And he said, that's where my mother fell out the window. My aunt, my godmother, she fell out the fifth floor window and she hit the clotheslines.
Really?
And that saved her because the clotheslines slowed her down, I guess, enough. And all she did was break her foot.
It is our tradition.
I know. I know it was great walking around and seeing all the clotheslines and everything like that. So, um, well, listen, it's great connecting with you again. I appreciate you taking the time. Just I
Thank
wish I was.
you.
I wish I was back there. I wish I was sitting next to you doing this instead of being a few thousand miles away. But we enjoyed our stay so much. The people in Naples were lovely. Christina and her husband are lovely. They greeted us when we got there, and for
Th-
anybody who wants a great place to stay in Naples,
Thank you so
Napoli
much.
is the place to be.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.